Live from a pickup truck today, and no, I do not have my phone holder, so I'm talking to you through my steering wheel. So I want to talk to you about strength versus power. Strength versus power. What are you choosing? How are you showing up? So I'm going to start with the story. So my 19-year-old son, he wants to become a professional boxer. He wants to become a champion, and that's what he wants. So we are working on that. So I've taken an active role in the last couple months. He approached me. He's been boxing for years, but it's been more a very serious hobby, I would say. Like, he's been training, goes to the gym every single week. Some weeks ago, like 5-6 days. But he made basically a choice. He's like, I want to become a pro boxer. It's a clear written goal. So he wants me to manage him. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I've been to most of his fights and to some of his gyms, but he switched gyms last year. And has been at that gym for about a year. And I'm like, let's go check out your gym. I want to meet your coach, see what's going on, get to kind of learn more about the boxing game as we move forward. So I go to his gym, and he's become friends with his coach. Okay, so they've become close. Really likes his coach, all that kind of stuff. And I go to the gym. It's a small, tiny gym, which is not a huge issue, but it was more of the environment. Relaxed, not that, just not the environment that I felt was going to groom and breed like a champion. And some of the other boxers there are just kind of like, they were hobbyists. They were not looking to become pro. There was no evidence of pro fighters going to that gym. So we left, and I asked him, I was like, do you think this coach and this gym is going to be able to teach you and push you, to become a pro, a champion? And he was like, not really, Dad, no. I was like, it's kind of what I thought. So I asked him, I said, what are some of the top gyms in Houston? He gave me some names, what he's heard of. He's like, I've heard about this gym, I heard about this gym. Went online, did a little research, found the one that we thought was the best. It's Main Street Boxing Gym in Houston. I'm like, let's go check it out next week. So we go to Main Street Boxing Gym. Dude, you walk in, the place is like, reruns of Rocky. It smells like a boxing gym, looks like a boxing gym. Boxing's going all around. There's pictures and championship belts on the wall of freaking champions. They breed boxing champions. The level of the boxers that were in there sparring and training, whole different level. And I'm like, what do you think about this? Basically, I'm like, this is the place. What I'm telling myself, he's like, yeah, I need to be here. So which led to my son having to make a choice, right? Like, of that decision of leaving a friendship and all that kind of stuff and going to the boxing gym. Ultimately, there's really no choice at all, right? But the question of using strength versus courage is the conversation, having like what is called like a critical conversation. This will tie into impeccable agreements, what I'll talk about in a little bit. But my son came to me and was like, Dad, like, my coach has helped me a lot. He's poured a lot into me. We've become friends. Like, this is like kind of nervous about, this is a 19-year-old boy having this conversation with me. He's like kind of nervous about telling him. And I was like, well, basically laying out, like, you got to look at what you want. What is it that you want, and what's going to help you get there? It's like decidedly so. I'm like, if you're decidedly so, this is a decision, then you have to have that man-to-man conversation. And he did. He's like, hey, I appreciate all you've done to help me, like, to get me where I'm at, but I truly feel like to get to the next level, this is what I have to do. And he stepped up like a man. So now let's tie this into the purpose of this video I want to share, and it's strength versus weakness. And I see all the time, I deal with it, but we all deal with it. But what are some of the ways where we are choosing, that men are choosing to increase their weakness and decrease their strength, to operate in a place of weakness? You may be siphoning out your strength and you don't even realize it. What are some ways we do this? With so many men just have a problem telling the damn, just being real. Like, who are you? What is on your heart? What do you have to say? Like, without, filtering it or just keeping it quiet, whatever. Like, just, who are you? Like, let me know. Like, transparency is like power. But so many give up, or they're offended by your transparency as a man. My gosh, I was just, one of my wife's family members reaching out because he doesn't like me cursing on social media. He's asked me to stop. So just be real with who you are, because whenever you cease being the real you, you're suppressing your strength. Okay? You're suppressing your strength when you just can't even tell the truth. Right? What are some other ways that men choose weakness over strength? So big time is telling the truth. That kind of ties into everything that we do. Your commitments. Okay, so I talked about my son. Like, number one is honoring your commitments, but my son didn't honor his commitments. He's going to that gym and change gyms. You may say, well, that's not what a real man does. No, a real man operates on impeccable agreements. Okay, what does that mean? Is like, one, if you clearly know what you want. You clearly know what you want. So you've got not only defined goals, you just know in your heart where you're going, and you're taking steps that are going to get you there. So number one is you don't go around making all these commitments. You don't go around making all these commitments that aren't in alignment with where you're going. So 90% of the time, just randomly, 90% of the time, you should honor your agreements you make. If you're breaking commitments all the damn time, then you need to go back. You probably don't know what the hell it is that you want. And that's why you're breaking those agreements. You're just committing to shit because you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing or that thing. Woohoo! That's going to get you nowhere. So acknowledge that. So number two, okay, so whenever you're very limited in the agreements that you make, you honor the agreements that you make. However, if certain agreements you're no longer in integrity with or out of alignment with, then you need to be able to have conversations to renegotiate and communicate those, where your alignment is, right? And sometimes that creates win-win situations where you can actually, just being truthful and honest with somebody may be a relief to them. It may help the situation. This is a big source of stress in companies and teams and relationships and families, because people aren't being real and honest, and they're not working on impeccable agreements. And sometimes an agreement is agreement that you need to make that you haven't made. Okay? So sometimes you are allowing weakness to show up by not just fucking making the commitment that you need to make as a man. This could be a commitment to you and, someone you're dating that you need to marry, someone you're married to that you need to divorce, children that you need, to be more to, and you need to make a commitment to do that and show up as a real dad, and you're not doing it. Okay? So there's impeccable agreements that you have to make. When you are not abiding by that principle in your life, you're allowing your strength to just evaporate and weakness to arise. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about masturbation. Let's talk about just sleeping around, hooking up with chicks. Like, this is not to judge. This is not to point out sin or STD stuff or anything like that, to shame or guilt. But it is to encourage you to just consider that, I get it, the sexual energy and masculinity that we have is we got to express it, but just sleeping around or jerking off is not a way to increase and grow in strength. Okay, so my belief, and where I've experienced seeing the greatest source of my power, is focusing all of my masculine energy, my masculinity, slowly, and just energy in general, is becoming the greatest version of myself. Okay, pursuing that calling on my heart. And when it comes to sex, pursuing that monogamous relationship with my wife for 21 years now, and bringing that energy with her. So we not only we each bring our energy and we create synergy together. It's just not like a quick fuck, it's not like you're an animal, like a freaking animal is just whatever. It's no, you're creating something with someone that is greater than yourselves. Okay, so that's another way you got to look at, just like not not honoring the man within. Like this is about creating the greatest version of yourself. Read The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. If you have not read that, and you're a man that wants to be superior and operate in strength, you must read that book. Look, there's a lot of other ways. I made a post about this on Facebook and on my blog at brantphillips.com. Just talking about, there's so many little ways, guys, that you're siphoning out your strength. And what you have to understand, I'll wrap up with this, is that when you are choosing weakness, and you may not even realize the instances when you're choosing weakness, but every time that you, like, I got another one for you, holding in your anger. Like if you're angry about something or frustrated about something, you have to express it. It doesn't mean that you're gonna, punch someone in the face or pick a fight, but it does mean that having that ability to communicate what it is that you feel. Okay, like I see men, like, whatever, mechanic trying to rip you off, something in business, and like you're telling me about it. I've had this with like coaching students and friends, like, bro, why are you telling me? Like, I don't mind you sharing my story, but why did you not tell this other person? That's, you didn't express your anger. When you don't express your anger, when something's really, really, really on your heart, you're conditioning fear. You're telling yourself, I'm afraid to express this, which means you're conditioning weakness, suppressing, and essentially eroding your strength. And that's it. That's it. When you operate in strength, when you show up to the gym, when you tell yourself you're going to show up to the gym, you're conditioning strength. When you don't show up to the gym because you're tired, hungover, whatever excuse, blah, 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 you're conditioning weakness. And these are the choices we get to make all day long, every single day. The more you condition strength, thus the stronger you will be, my friend. The more that you condition weakness in your life, thus the weaker you will be, my friend. So, take a little time, assess where you're at, look at the ways where you're showing up and you're allowing weakness to come into your life instead of strength. And the more that you show up in strength, it will begin to compound. And this is how we produce results in our life, by compounding strength and eliminating weakness. That's it, my friend.